Hello guys and welcome to my channel. My name is David and this channel is gonna be all about bodybuilding and bringing you the best knowledge when it comes to building muscle. I'm not gonna lie, I am from Poland, so it's extremely hard to reach out to the people outside of my country. So if you are from United States or England or any country outside the Poland, please subscribe to my channel. Please share this to your friends and basically help me share this information with everyone who is interested in it. If you are from Europe and you like to support my channel and myself, please use the code Olszewski at www.propeptydy.pl and order the best quality peptides. They are shipping it throughout Europe, so don't worry about it. And without further ado, let's get started.
Hello everyone, and see you again in another one, English podcast. Today I have a very special guest just because Lorenzo actually not so long ago won his pro card in my country, which is Poland, which I congratulate you very, very much just because you well deserve it. You look like a real pro, You were dense, you were cut as fuck. You were just, I think that everything was just perfect that day, and you well deserved.
I think the connection is not too good.
You hear me right now? I hear you very well.
Yeah. And now I hear you okay. Like a few seconds ago, it was very, very choppy.
Okay, so let me do this again. I was just talk to the people that you are win your pro card in my country, and I am just wanted to congratulate you just because you look like a pro. Everything just seems to be perfect that day. So this is first of all, we have Lorenzo Leeuwe. No, I screw it. Yeah,
Leeuwe.
Yeah, Leeuwe. Okay. Just right before we start, I have asked Lorenzo how to pronounce his surname, just because this is the one of the most difficult one in the bodybuilding entire worldwide.
Well, for me, the Polish surnames would be much more difficult.
Oh, of course, that's not doubt. That's yeah, man. What's good? How are you?
I'm good, man. Life is good. I mean, just started my off season. Training is going well. Diet is on track. We just had some changes this past week. Just started, into the off season. Everything is great. I feel good. I did also the health checks, so the blood work, everything was okay. Together with my coach, of course, we checked those. So everything is great, man. How about you?
I'm very well. I'm very good, but not to talk about me just because I am compared to you, no one. So let's bring the Polish people a little bit information about yourself, just because you're not so very famous yet, but I think it's gonna change very quickly. And I believe in it. Yeah.
I hope so. I mean, I'm just getting started, just turned pro. I think once I get the ball rolling, do some pro shows, more people will start to know who I am.
Yeah, definitely. For example, our guy from Poland just win his fourth place in a pro, which is Christian.
Christian.
Yeah, Christian. And right now, it seems like everyone in the United States know him right now, which for Polish guy, it's a very big deal.
It's huge.
So, yeah, it's huge.
Of course. I mean, I think he's currently probably the best Polish pro, right?
Right now, I think so. Definitely from the youngest ones, just because we have some pros that are in a decent level, but they are older guys.
Yeah, but I know Christian is about my age.
Yeah, I was about to ask you, how old are you? How old are you?
I am 28.
Okay. That's scary for me to know just because I'm 29 and I'm half of
Oh,
your size.
I wouldn't say half of my size. I think you're pretty big too.
Thank you.
So,
Thank you.
uh, but the funny thing is, I know Christian because we competed together when we were juniors. We did a show once against each other a long time ago. So we're friends, and I think he's a great bodybuilder and he's doing great right now. So I'm happy for him that he's also getting the recognition. You know,
Man, what's your weight right now?
my weight right now is 126 kilograms, about in the morning.
Uh,
I always weigh in the morning. No food after the toilet, just completely empty.
Yeah, and how tall are you?
I'm 180, 182-ish,
Oh,
like
oh,
in between that. So
that's great
yeah,
weight. That's a great weight
yeah.
for the beginning of the off season, man.
Thank you. Yeah, and it's just getting started because I actually started only this week, so hopefully it will be moving up. Not too fast, of course, because you want it to be quality muscle. Um, but hopefully it will be moving up the next weeks, the next months. Like, I need it for if I want to do a pro show.
Do you have your like a goal weight? I know it's not
Um,
so good to just have a goal
well,
weight, but you know what I mean.
yeah, yeah, I know what you mean. I always say also not like you say, not to focus too much only on weight. But my goal was to be like off season 130 kilograms in a good shape, like not too fat, not too watery.
Chubby.
Um, yeah, and a lean weight goal would be like 125 kilograms, like pretty lean, like you're in a prep, not show weight, but you're not too far off from your prep weight. That would be my goal.
Okay.
So,
Okay, so I'm gonna keep my fingers crossed for you.
yeah,
Uh, just 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 in case, just because I know your work ethic is just enough to achieve this goal without any like a struggle for you. I think just because if you lost
thank
something
you, thank you.
is not a struggle. But man, let's go back in a time, and I just wanted to ask you, what was the reason and how actually you started to working out?
Well, it's a well, not long story, but I would say it started out. I was about 14 years old, something like that. And I was very skinny. Naturally, I'm very, very skinny from by myself. Um, so it started all the way with I had some like not say trouble, but I had problems with some people back in the day when I was younger, and I got like into a fight with some people, with some kids, other kids, and I was feeling like um, I needed to get stronger. I needed to be able to just defend myself at any time. So at the time, I started with kickboxing. So I was doing kickboxing first, and I also had some weights at home, some small weights, not much. So I just started to train a bit at home, and eventually I really liked it. I like the pump, the feeling of training. So I made my parents. I asked them if I could get more weights, more weights. So I got like more weight. I got a barbell. Um, I got a small like cheap bench press. My dad helped me set it up. He adjusted the bench press so it could be like also used to squat.
Yeah.
So I was like doing my whole training at home. I was training, I think, almost every day, just at home alone, no one there. Just putting my music and just training at night. That was like it was everything to me. So I really loved it. Um, and then eventually, I liked it so much that I thought like, hey, I want to compete. I want to compete, see
Yeah,
if I'm
but
good at this.
let me ask, before you wanted to compete, you have to had that magical moment that you realize that there is something called bodybuilding, and there's a guy, they are
For
looking
sure,
like I don't know, cartoonish characters.
for sure,
And do you
for sure.
remember
Back then,
who was the first bodybuilder you ever saw?
I can't remember like exactly who was the first, but the first like inspiration, for, like just like for many, was watching Arnold. Um, I think for most people that's like a big inspiration when they
Yeah,
start, because it's like a physique that's still
big by pleasing.
achievable, but exactly. So I was watching Pumping Iron. I was watching his documentary. I even read his part of his book, his encyclopedia. Um, so I think that was one of the first people I really look up to in bodybuilding. And of course, afterwards, you start looking at Ronnie Coleman, and it just gets more even crazier. And eventually, you just like that look. I want to look like that. I want to train hard. I want to train heavy. So that's just how it all started.
Okay. Do you remember your first diet? How it looked like?
Um, my first diet,
Yeah,
like
like
which one?
the silly ones that you're eating like a
Yeah,
jelly
I
with a
was
peanut butter or something like that.
yeah, I was eating some weird stuff. Um, I remember I was just eating like cans of tuna. Um, just putting that in in Tupperware with some avocado, taking it to school. I had chicken breast on bread, so I had like a sandwich. I was taking that to school twice a day and eating during class, which actually was not allowed all the time. So I was kind of sometimes getting into well, not trouble, but people were like, "Oh, he's eating again." Um, so it was not always easy, starting out, because people are kind of, in a way, they're judging you because you're doing something different, right? Everyone is
Yeah.
just being a kid. Everyone is just going to school, eating like snacks and stuff, and I'm pulling out a chicken breast on a sandwich. So it was a challenge in the beginning. Before you really, eventually, people start to just know that you're that guy, right? You're that bodybuilder, living that lifestyle, and at that point, they just kind of let you do your thing. So in the beginning, it may be a challenge.
Man, do you remember how's your training was like back then? You mentioned the Arnold Schwarzenegger encyclopedia, so probably it was like an Arnold training. Yep, am I
Yeah,
right?
I was doing well since I was started training at home. I was doing almost everything free weight. So I was doing all the dumbbells, kind of like Arnold also did. He did a lot of dumbbell, barbell, right? So I was doing like mostly dumbbell, barbells, the basics, dumbbell flies, barbell rows, the barbell back squats, and everything was like um, at home. So I was all alone, no mirror. So you have no spotter, right? You need to
Yeah.
be really careful of everything you're doing. So
Man,
it was,
from everything you just said, it looks like you're doing everything almost perfect since the day one. Oh my God, I never heard anyone just took tuna with an avocado to the school. It's always
yeah,
it was something like, I don't know, cookie, chocolate, I don't know, a Snickers
yeah,
bar.
yeah.
And you took
Oh, you're right.
tuna
I did
and
once in a
avocado.
while.
Man,
Once in a while, I did bring protein bars. That's true. I had the chocolate protein bars, and
still decent.
in my opinion, back then, I'm thinking, oh, it's still good. It's protein, so it's better than just a regular chocolate. So I did have those bars, yes.
Man, when I was started here in Poland was a big like if individual macros was a big deal. So
Yeah,
my diet literally looks like I was eating like a cottage cheese for a protein, and the rest of my diet
yeah,
was a pure chocolate. Because at the end of the day on my fitness pal, I have like a 300 fats, 600
Wow.
carbs, and 150 grams of protein. And I was, yes, I achieved my goal for the protein today. Great. That was my knowledge. and you're doing everything since you are 13 years old. Right. Some bodybuilders here in Poland right now eating not even half of a decent diet you was eating back then when you were 13 years old. Man, that's amazing.
That's true. That's true.
Yeah.
I would say, yeah. I did start early with all the knowledge. You know, I was always on bodybuilding.com, just on the internet, reading, searching. So I wanted to learn the knowledge.
And it's you don't have to say anything else. It's just you can see it. You can see it. Everything is perfect. Your body looks perfect. Your skin looks perfect. Probably your health is perfect. And yeah, that was a good move from you. Yeah, that was a good move, man. Do you remember when you say you start to thinking about it competing? That was the point of your career, let's say, that you realized that you need someone to help you, for example, like a coach or something like that. And who was your first coach, and how many coaches you have already?
Let me start with how many coaches I had. I would say I had 4 coaches in my whole career, which is about how many years? Competing years, I would say 10, 11 years competing. So
it's longer than I train.
Sorry?
That's longer than I train.
Really?
Wow, yeah, I trained for 10 years.
How many?
And 10 years, and you competing for 11.
Yeah, I'm training for, well, I started 14
years.
15. Yeah, so 14 years. So a bit longer, yeah. A bit longer. My first coach, funny enough, is someone that was working at the gym. He had never coached someone yet in bodybuilding, so it was completely new for him. It was like almost as new to him as it was to me. So I think we did make some mistakes back then, but he was very supportive though, and helping me during the training a lot. I had someone else help also with diet because he said the guy told me he knows more about the training than about the diet, so he got someone else help with the diet. So then I had 2 people helping me for that first show. But I'll be honest, the experience was not there compared to the coach that I have now, of course.
So who was the second coach?
The second coach was someone that is now a friend of mine, who is also a pro bodybuilder. He competes in classic physique. His name is Joan. And he's like from where I'm from. I'm from Aruba, so in the Caribbean. He's also from there, and he was also living in the Netherlands, so where I live now. So naturally, it was someone I knew living here, and that had knowledge of competing because he had competed multiple times, and he had won many competitions where I'm from. So you could say he had the rank, he had the experience. So he helped me, I think, at least a year and a half or so to do my first show here in the Netherlands, my first 2 shows. Because when I came here, I did a few shows here, of course, and he helped me with the first 2 before I switched from coach, because he said himself that it would be best I get like a real pro coach, a professional coach, to reach my full potential, because his job was not a coach. He was actually just an athlete. So then my third coach was Milo Sarcev. You will probably know him.
Yeah, of course.
My third coach. He is a family friend of my girlfriend's family. So yeah, so that's kind of how I got the connection with him. He was willing to help me. He helped me, I think, for also a year and a half, or maybe 2 years. And then my last coach is Patrick Tour, which is still currently my coach.
Okay. Okay. So like a 4 coaches, let's say it was actually a 2 coaches, just because the first 2 guys was most like more like a friends. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
So I want to ask you, just because this is something that is big for me, very big for me. Right now, I am doing something like a daily vlogs for my YouTube channel, just to showcase the people how the routine of the bodybuilder looks like. That is basically every day, same shit. This is like just continuously doing everything the same for a certain amount of time, and this is like a this is all the magic that we are hiding from the people. But I want to ask you, how's your like daily routine looks like? So you wake up at this time, and you're doing this. Can you explain it like shortly?
For sure. Okay, I'll start with when I wake up. I usually don't wake up very early because, one, I don't have like a 9 to 5 job that I need to be at work a certain time. I am a coach myself, so my job is from home. I'm working from home, or at the gym if I'm meeting athletes there. So I usually wake up maybe 9:30, maximum maybe 10 a.m. I will wake up, I go to the toilet, maybe check my weight that day if I need to check it. Usually I'm now checking 2 or 3 times a week in the off season. I will have my supplements in the morning, like a drink with water, EAAs, so essential aminos, glutamine, lemon. Afterwards, I will make my breakfast, have it like ready, but I won't eat it yet. I go to do my cardio, which is where I live. We have cardio downstairs. So we have like a little small gym, you could say, here where I live. So I do cardio, either 20 minutes on the training days or 30 minutes on the rest days. Afterwards, something I added new to my routine is I will do stretches. I will stretch about 10 to 15 minutes, multiple stretches for like shoulders, lower back, quads, hamstrings. So I will loosen everything up, which I found helps me, to keep more flexible, less tight, and less pain in the certain areas. Afterwards, I'll have my breakfast. So that's meal 1. From there, I'll start to work from home, do the coaching, the check-ins, get to my clients. I will usually eat 2 more meals, then head to the gym. I'll head to the gym, which is about 20-25 minutes from where I live currently. Head to the gym with my girlfriend. Do my training. Usually once a week right now, I'm doing also posing after the training and taking pictures to send to Patrick, to the coach. Afterwards, come home, eat 1 more meal, maybe do some more work if I didn't, finish everything earlier. Then usually it'll be pretty late already. It'll be like almost 12 a.m. midnight. I'll take a shower, then we just relax in the room, watch our TV shows, and then have 1 more meal and then head to sleep. So in total, I will be eating 6 meals without counting my post-workout. So no, I don't count the shakes or anything like that. Just real solid meals.
This is what I expected to hear.
Yeah.
That this is how you get big. This is how you get big, guys and girls. Sure. If you're some girls watching this, yeah. Okay. how's your training looks like right now? Did you have like a something that you wanted to focus on this off season
Yeah,
especially?
yeah,
Can you
sure.
tell me what's your like a training philosophy right now? For example, are you more like
Yeah,
a high intense, low volume guy, or maybe higher volume guy, or how do you train?
yeah. I think always in the past, especially on very high volume. Um, with the years, I've slowly decreased the volume a little bit because you just notice that when you're younger, you can handle a lot more volume. You know, the recovery is quicker, um, and you need just slightly less rest when you're younger. Now I favor like medium volume. Still, like some people would say, it's still pretty high, um, and also high intensity. Intensity is always important for every training, I think. Um, and my split is 2 rest days, 5 training days, which for me at the moment feels like the best balance of training and rest. Because in the past, I would just always train 6 times a week, always. And I would feel like if I was training less than that, I was being a pussy. I was not training enough. But now I've come to realize that you need to find that balance in your training and your rest. So for me, the perfect balance is like at least 2 rest days of only I only do cardio, and for the rest, it's just relaxing. Of course, just work like normal. Um, but my training right now is I have on Monday. I have no on Monday is a rest day. Then on Tuesday I have shoulders and triceps, so it's like a push day. And I will also add some calves at the beginning. I always do calves twice a week at the beginning of my training because it's always been like a less dominant muscle group, a weaker muscle group compared to my upper legs. My quadriceps are much bigger, so I give those extra attention. So Wednesday will be my leg day, my main leg day. Um, I will have quad and hamstring exercises on that day, and also the compound movements, so like squat movements, leg press, stuff like that, the heavy movements. Then Thursday I'll have a rest day after the leg day. I think for me that feels really good because after legs you're just
Toasted.
usually just exhausted, yeah, toast. So the next day a rest day is just perfect. And then Friday I have back and biceps, so like a pull day, focused on all the pulling movements. Saturday will be chest, triceps, and I will usually add in one shoulder exercise as well to make it like another push day. So it'll be focused on all the pushing exercises, bringing up the chest, a bit of the shoulders, and the triceps. And then on Sunday, I have a day especially for the hamstrings. Again, always a muscle group that I feel was lacking a bit compared to the quads. The quads just hyper responded just much quicker to the training. So I have one day for the hamstrings. I will also do some glute exercises, which I think is important also to do in the off season to build the muscle on the glutes. Um, and I will also do a little bit of midsection work, some abs. Usually only 2 exercises. That's enough for me. And I will kind of gauge the ab training by my physique. If my ab structure is getting too thick, I will reduce the ab training a bit.
Okay.
And that's how my split looks right now.
Seems like the higher volume days was back in working with Milos. He's like he
Yeah,
tends to working out 7 times or 6, 7 times a week, 2 times a day.
yeah, but true, that's true. But even before that, I was always training at least 6 times and a lot of exercises, just trying to hit every angle of every muscle
Yeah,
group. But you realize with time that it's
you're
not.
getting smarter.
Yeah, it gets harder. It's not optimal for your body. You need to rebuild as well, or you start to break down the tendons too, the tendons and the joints.
Hey, can you tell me, are you making your own training plans or your coach is helping you or just give
Yeah.
you the plan?
Well, I do the exercise selection. So I pick what I'm gonna do for the week. My coach does give instructions on the training, so he will tell me what rep ranges I should be doing, what tempo, so what time, time down, time up. He does give guidelines for the training, especially now in the off season where I have to focus on certain muscle groups. He wants me to focus on the weak points, so like the arms need to come up, need to get bigger, especially
Yeah. Yeah, and Patrick is known from his like a training philosophy. He is a very methodical guy. He's like a everything is have to be exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah, this is why I ask, just because you are a coach as well, and sometimes if you are a coach, you have the tendency to just making your own plans, which is not always the greatest idea, just because we have the tendency to do it something that we love and not necessarily that we need. Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah.
This week, actually, we started some new things with the training, since we just started the off season. So the food is also up. The protocol usage is also changing. So that's why he also made changes into the training. And like you said, he's very specific with certain methods that I have to apply to the training. So we are starting to apply those changes now.
Okay, man, you just briefly says how many meals you have and stuff like that, but can you just take us through your meal plans? So like your food sources and stuff like that, just because this is something that people just have the tendency to doing like a base diet that is not always the greatest. And I know for example, Patrick is very big on fruits, or adding just like a small things that help your digestion, that help your immune function and stuff like that, which is very, very like a great idea. And some bodybuilders, especially those young ones, just forget about it. They are just counting the calories and macros and not thinking about the micronutrients. And that's always something that you have to consider. So can you take us through your diet?
For sure. I'm going to pull it up also right here. I know it, but just so I don't... because this week I actually got the new diet for the off season. So I need to still press it into my memory.
Yeah, okay. Of course.
So when waking up, I should have 1 lemon pressed into a glass of water with 10 grams of glutamine, amino acids, 300 milligrams magnesium, and carnitine, 2 grams. Then I should do the cardio, 20 minutes, steady state. And after the cardio, I'll have amino acids again, 15 grams, and 10 grams glutamine again. Then my meal 1 is 180 grams of oatmeal with 1 scoop of whey isolate, so 30 grams, 100 grams of beef, lean, so as less fat as possible, and 1 banana. So that's meal 1. It's a pretty big meal right now, but I have a good appetite. So I have the appetite is still good, so it's going down pretty easily. Then after that, I have like a bunch of vitamins, omega. Then later I'll have meal 2, which is 200 grams of chicken or turkey breast with 140 grams of rice. The next meal is 200 grams chicken or turkey, 140 grams of rice, 100 grams green vegetables, and 10 grams of olive oil. I usually just add it over the meal, after making it. After 3 meals, I should usually have my training session. And before training, I will have highly branched cyclic dextrin, which is a carbohydrate, which is very sustained energy, so it digests easily, and it does not cause any rapid spikes or drops in the blood glucose. So I should have 20 grams of the cyclic dextrin 30 minutes before training, with 5 grams of creatine and 20 grams of whey isolate. Then during the training, I should sip on 15 grams of essential aminos, EAAs, and again 20 grams of the cyclic dextrin. And then after the training, I will have 30 grams whey isolate, 50 grams of the cyclic dextrin again, 10 grams of EAAs, and 3 grams of HMB, which is hydroxy methyl. I can't remember the last part now, but it's a leucine. It comes from leucine, the amino acid. And with the post, I will have 5 IUs of Humalog, which is the fast-acting insulin, to help process all the carbs, which is actually.
Are you using the insulin only post-workout?
Only post-workout.
Okay.
Yeah. Only 5 units. Helps process all the carbs. Push it into the muscle. So you get a little rest from constantly producing the insulin by the pancreas. Then about 45 minutes after the shake, I will have another meal, which is 120 grams of rice, or I can have cream of rice, which is, the powdered form. You probably know it. With 200 grams. Yeah, it's great. With 200 grams of lean beef, so just like in the morning, as lean as possible, just a minimal fat. 100 grams of applesauce. So it's like I don't know if you know what it is, but it's like puree.
It's like an apple pie filling, something like that. Yes, am I right?
Maybe it could be. Yeah,
it's like
I don't know much about.
You just take the apples and you just crush it. On like on a stove. You make it on a stove, like on a.
No, you can just buy it. You can just buy it.
Okay.
Yeah, here in the Netherlands, it's kind of a common, a pretty common thing to eat here. I think not everywhere, but here they eat it.
Are you adding it to the pancakes? In the Netherlands, we are doing it in Poland.
I'm eating it just straight out of a little bowl. It's pretty. It's a unique taste. It's sweet but also sour, And then I should later. The meal 5 afterwards is 300 grams of white fish. So I will usually get fish that's caught like in the ocean, not farmed. 400 grams of potato, just regular potatoes. I put them into the air fryer. Makes it a bit crispier, nicer to eat. And I have 100 grams of mixed salad, so vegetables, and a tablespoon of apple cider vinegar, and also 10 grams of macadamia nut oil. So the oil from the macadamias.
Yeah, I love it.
It's a difficult oil to find here, surprisingly, but it's very good. And then my last meal is 80 grams of oatmeal again, 60 grams of whey isolate, so 2 scoops, and then 30 grams of macadamia again, or almond butter.
Do you count in your rice cooked or raw?
Raw.
Oh my God, it's a fucking lot of food.
Yeah, it's a lot of food.
It's a lot of food for the beginning of the off season, man. It's oh my God.
Yeah.
You are not moving a lot. Man.
Sorry?
You are not moving a lot. You're working from home. How you burn through it?
Yeah. I don't move a lot. I'm usually just at home, so I don't make that many steps, or I'm not that active during the day. Most of it I just burn with either cardio or with training. So, and just the muscle that I have.
This is why you have the card.
Yeah.
Yeah, this is why.
Yeah.
Oh my God, man, that was great. Okay, I've noticed that you have a lot of protein, a lot. So
yeah.
I have the question here. Just I write it down. Do you believe in high protein? And obviously you do. So I'm not even going to ask.
I do believe in high protein. I do know that like I think for my body, Patrick puts an even higher protein, which I assume is because he just notices that it works well on that. It reacts well to higher protein because we have been working together for multiple years. So I know he knows what works well with my body. So I do just put the trust in him and follow the diet that he gives. But I am usually a fan of pretty high protein, but I will say that, yeah, I do get pushed a lot with the protein, especially in contest prep. Protein will be very high. Yeah.
Yeah, man. And do your diet difference between the training and non-training days? Obviously, you don't have the shakes and stuff like that, but this is like do you have some sort of the carb rotations? So, for example, the carbs are significantly lower on the rest days?
For sure, yeah.
And the fats are bumped
I
up?
have the whole rest day. Yeah, I have the whole rest day also written down. It's definitely a lot less carbs. Even more protein
Oh my God.
and more fats, yeah. And also the cardio will be 30 minutes as well. So I'll be doing a bit more cardio. But yeah, the carbs are lower.
Lower for like a half of the training days. So you can read
Would
it
you like
if you wanted to. Yeah, of course. I love it. I don't know if the listeners wanted to, but I am like I'm just turning into the machines for the here.
For sure. The rest day nutrition, I'll get straight into the breakfast because everything before is the same. So before cardio and after cardio is the same. The meal one is 6 egg whites. So 6 eggs with no yolk in it. One whole egg. 100 grams of oatmeal. 30 grams whey isolate. 40 grams of blueberries. And then meal two is 250 grams of lean beef, 100 grams of rice. And meal three is 250 grams chicken or turkey, 100 grams rice, 100 grams green vegetables, and 10 grams of olive oil. And then meal four is, again, 100 gram rice, 250 grams of lean beef. Meal five is 250 grams chicken or turkey, 200 grams of potato, 100 grams of mixed salad, a tablespoon of the apple cider vinegar, and the 10 grams macadamia nut oil again. And the meal six, I have a choice. I can have either 60 grams whey with 30 grams macadamia, or I can have 400 grams of egg whites and with 2 yolks in it. So it's fully protein and fats the last meal.
Okay, so it's a slight rotation. It's a big rotation for you, but for me it's a slight rotation just because you eat on the rest days you have more carbs than I have on the training days on my third week of the bulking. So, but I'm also 24 kilos less than you. So this is why.
Yeah, I do eat a lot even on rest days. It's still a lot.
Yeah, you have to just because you would shrink. Just you probably will wake up like 3 kilos less.
Yeah, if I don't eat, I drop so quickly. Because like I said, I started out skinny, right? So if I don't eat, my body goes back to where it started.
What? How skinny is skinny for you? You are like a 180 centimeters plus, and what was your weight?
Oh, that's good question. I can't remember that well, to be honest, what my starting weight was, but it was definitely less than 70 kilos. I'm not sure.
God.
Yeah, I was skinny.
You almost double your size, man.
Yeah, for sure, for sure.
Yeah, I love to hear that. I love to hear that. That's great. That's great, man. I'm gonna ask you this, but everyone that's hearing it from the beginning to this point should understand that everything that we covered already, so the diet and the training is the most important thing. And this is why Lorenzo is looking like he's looking. The PEDs aspect is important. We're not gonna lie, but I've always gonna say this is just something to boost the progress, not something to make progress. So you have to remember this. And we are not advising anything. We are not going to talking about the dosages or something like that. I just wanted to ask you, what was your how you looking at the PEDs and what are your approach on the off season? Do you keep it basics like a test plus some sort of nandrolone plus probably the GH and insulin and that's all, or you like to rotate the compounds and stuff like that?
Yeah. Right now, it's relatively basic. Um, I have test with Primobola, and also I don't know if you know this one, dihydroboldenone.
DHB, of course.
So it's
the test one.
DHB.
Yeah, test one sip. Yeah,
exactly. It's the DHD version of boldenone, so less water retention. And then I also have the HGH, of course, and the insulin after training is only post workout, fast acting. So that's the current PED protocol, the stack. I'm not sure if it will still be. It will probably be rotated eventually, but it's like not going to be rotating every few weeks or anything like that. It's going to be. Yeah, I'm pretty sure at least 12 weeks, and then from there we will rotate to something else, depending on what Patrick thinks is best. But it's pretty basic, and it's nothing extreme, that's for sure. In terms of dosage, everything is pretty basic and nothing crazy.
Are you some sort of the hyper responder? That you don't need to bump it up your dose, because we are not gonna lie, some guys are really on the top of the game and are not using a big dose for them, of course. And some guys are going crazy, but this is the necessity. Just because this is how it looks. For some, being on like I don't know, 2 grams is just not enough. You have to bump it up. But some 2 grams is more than enough.
Of course, it depends on the genetics of the person. I don't think I'm a hyper responder. I do think I respond well, but not like the extreme hyper responders that will, grow on anything or any small amount. But I would say I'm in between. I'm a good responder, but I wouldn't call myself a hyper responder. So I do grow on just normal dose. Just I don't have to do anything crazy or anything like that. Luckily, for me, it's still about pushing the food and the training, and also taking breaks sometimes of the usage, which also helps. Because I think one problem is that what many people run into is that they just go nonstop.
Crazy.
So they're pushing their body constantly, and eventually it just reaches a wall, which is why they need to keep upping. But if you take a step back and just let it take some time to rest, to not get too used to constantly being on the dosages, that way you can continue to grow on almost the same dosages.
Yeah, I'm not the biggest fan of the synthesized methods, just because I am not believing in it, just because I think that the androgen receptors upregulates within getting the mass that we build, but I think it's necessity for staying health. And you obviously looking very healthy. Your skin is perfect, and you're looking like a 27-year-old guy. Yeah, not like me, like a 40-year-old guy. This is not because I'm abusing, of course, but this is the beard. The beard. Yeah. I have to cut it off.
The beard makes you look old. I always need to trim it. If not, I look like a homeless guy.
Yeah, I have to go with your leads. Definitely. Man, and what's your approach to the GH? Just because I'm not gonna lie, I believe in the higher the better. Definitely,
I
the
do,
much
I do
you
think,
can tolerate and afford. This is for me
I
the
do,
best
I
approach.
do, I do agree that it's gonna work more the higher you go, but it does come with drawbacks also at pushing at higher dosages, which is especially on your insulin sensitivity. So blood glucose can start to rise if you start to, for
Yeah,
longer periods, push those dosages. So you need to keep that in check, either with insulin, of course, or you can use things like metformin to correct your blood glucose. If you're not doing those things, there's a large chance that eventually your body will become insulin resistant and your glucose will start to rise, which is then again bad for your progress and for your health, of course. So I do agree with you that for just growing all out, of course, higher the better, which is also very expensive.
of course.
Um, but then if you're gonna go higher, then you need to be monitoring those values, the glucose, just making sure that you're not worsening your sensitivity to insulin. So
Yeah.
that's something to take into consideration. But I do agree with you, of course. I don't think that something like 2 units or 3 units is going to make someone huge. You know what I mean?
Yeah, yeah.
I, I don't
And,
think.
and I am agree with you that this is why I say as much as you can tolerate. And I
Yeah,
think that if someone wants to use higher amounts of GH even, it's better to do it with a coach. So for example, you can hire Lorenzo or anyone that's know what he's doing, just because you have to have the like a someone that's gonna control everything you do, especially that we have the tendency to just forget about our health when we are goal driven sometimes. So you just need to have someone who just said stop and
for sure.
yeah, react. Okay, and what's your take on insulin usage? I know you're using just a 5 IU after the training. Why? Just because you don't need to, or you don't believe that it's something that's going to drive more over progress?
I do think that you need to use it like um, where you need it. You know what I mean? Um, so if your glucose is fine, I'm using it mostly to just maintain the glucose and give the pancreas a rest of constantly needing to produce insulin because of all the carbs I eat. And of course, it's also going to drive nutrients into the muscle, help the muscle recover quicker after training. Um, I do think that using, you know, too much at the wrong moments can sort of it can distort the physique. You know what I mean? And it depends per person because it won't happen as quickly to everyone. But if you are someone that responds very heavily to insulin, it can definitely change your physique um, in a negative way, in my opinion. Um, you can get easily fat gain around the organs, which is the visceral fat.
Yeah.
Um, that's what I think, at least. And which is why I just use it very sparingly after the training, um, because I'm not afraid, but I'm cautious to also make the waist bigger, right?
Yeah, of
I
course.
want to try to keep the waist as tight as possible um, while growing the other muscle groups, which is going to give you the great proportions, of course. So I do believe it has its place for sure. And I'm not against using it at other moments or in higher dosages because I have and sometimes do. Just currently, it's only post workout because the off season is just starting. Um, so I'm definitely not against adding insulin pre workout or a longer acting insulin in the morning. Um, just you need to be careful with the dosages that you take uh, because, like I said, it can have the that effect on your physique that you do not want either. So
Yeah.
that's my reasoning of just using the minimal amount, and from there only adding more if I see that yeah, it's possible. It's not taking away from my physique.
Okay, so let's take off the topic of the PEDs and stuff that just briefly helps, more than briefly,
Yeah.
but let's say like that. And cardio is something that is debatable for the people. Some people doing it year round, some people just cut it off on the off season. What's your approach?
Yeah, I definitely do the cardio year round. I think I just feel a lot better when I'm doing my cardio. Um, so for cardiovascular health, of course, it's very good. Um, but I feel like it's also very beneficial to keep the blood pressure down. Um, and it does help you to train harder because um, your cardiovascular system is working better and the lungs are working better. So when you're training hard, training heavy legs, you will be gassed out less quickly as opposed to when I'm doing no cardio. I'll be almost dying when I'm training legs. I'll do one set of squats and I'll just be like on the bench lying down, just barely getting enough air. So I do feel like for me it feels much better when I'm doing cardio year round. Um, and it also helps manage the body fat, right? It makes sure that I'm not gaining too much body fat too quickly because you're burning more calories, of course. Um, One other thing that I noticed is it does help to increase the appetite. So if you're someone that's struggling with eating enough food, you might think that it's counterproductive because you're burning energy, but it also increases your appetite, which then allows you to eat more um, of the calories that you need to grow. So for me, it was always beneficial to keep the appetite high. Like I said, control the blood pressure and keep the cardiovascular health, yeah, as best as possible.
Yeah, and also if you're using the GH, you can like
Yeah,
helping with your blood glucose as well, is your insulin
for sure.
sensitivity, of course.
That's what I mean.
Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
yeah, of course.
Okay, and one of the deepest questions today, what's in your opinion the key to become the best bodybuilder that you can be?
I think the most important thing is, of course, consistency. So just continuing to always following your plan. I think stability is also important. So having stability in your life, it's like a routine, a stable life that's not constantly changing, um, or a lot of stress in your life, um, which is negative. Having maybe a very solid routine is important. Someone that supports you. So I'm lucky enough to have my girlfriend that I have been with since my first show. So she has always been very supportive and helpful in everything I do in the bodybuilding, which I think is very important because it's very difficult to do everything on your own. I mean, it is a selfish sport, of course. We have to do most of the things alone, but it's very helpful to have someone that does support you and help you out whenever you need that, right? So that way you can have stability in your life and not constantly have can you say like things changing, things going on,
ups and downs.
Yeah, ups and downs. So for me, that's been very very crucial.
Is she competing as well? Can you hear me? Can you hear me? Everything is fine?
Yeah, now I can hear you. It was
Okay.
stuck for a bit.
I've just asked, are your girlfriend competing as well?
No, she's never competed. She does train. We go to the gym together. Um, she looks like she could compete. So she has honestly very good genetics. I have to admit for bodybuilding and for just competing, but she's very Well, shy. You could say shy. She it's not someone that's going to go on stage and likes all the attention that you would get from being on stage. You know, so she's very shy, but her physique is very good. And her dad was funny enough. Her dad was back in the day a pro bodybuilder. He
Great
competed
genetics.
in the yeah, great genetics. He competed in the back then it was 202 class.
202, yeah.
Yeah, he competed in that class. He did shows like New York Pro. He was top 5 there. So yeah, definitely great genetics to for bodybuilding, and you can see it. Also, her physique is very good.
So
But
she
I don't
so
think
she
she showed that.
understands. So she understands.
She understands. She grew up actually in the gym because, funny enough, her dad also owns a gym where I'm from, a very good bodybuilding gym. So since she was little, she was always in the gym around bodybuilders. So it's for her, it's very normal. It was never weird, or she was very used to it.
Great to hear that. You're lucky.
Yeah, very lucky. Very lucky. Thank you.
Man, I just forget you to ask, what's about the cheat meals? Are you doing cheat meals? Is like
Yeah,
a planned cheat meal or is just whenever you want?
it's planned. I do believe in cheat meals just for, like I said, stability is very important. Balance is important in life. And us as bodybuilders in contest prep are punishing ourselves. We're suffering on a diet, keeping it 100% strict. So in that moment, there's nothing with cheat meals. So when I come out and I'm in the off season, I do have my planned cheat meals, which is going to be just once a week. I have a set day that I plan to cheat, and I will usually pick. I will have a day on a muscle group that I'm training that I want to improve, because you're getting extra calories, you're getting extra fats and carbs. Um, so I like to have the cheat meal on a specific day that I want to improve that muscle group. So, but I do stick to a max of once a week, just to make sure I'm not overdoing it. Um, and I always recommend, if you can do less frequent is obviously better. But for me, I found the balance once a week is good. Also for my girlfriend, because of course you have to do things together sometimes in the relationship. It's important. Um, and I find that once a week, having a meal together like that is very, very important.
So what's the food of your choice for the cheat meal?
Mm, I will usually have a few different things. I like you saw, I can eat a lot, so there's no exception. When I cheat, it also has to be enough, because if not, it won't fill me. If I eat too little, it will be less than my
Diet, yeah.
actual diet meal. So I usually have like a very big burger, high quality, not like McDonald's or something, but an actual burger place. Um, then usually my girlfriend will leave like half of hers for me to eat. Um, and I will also have sometimes some fried chicken, like you get those buckets with fried chicken.
Yeah.
And then I just split it with my girlfriend, and we'll like watch a movie or something. Um, and maybe I will have like one sweet, so like a piece of chocolate or some bit of ice cream. Um, and that's about it usually. So I will usually have like two warm meal, warm meal sides, and then a dessert.
Yeah, of course. Yeah, for a guy your size is probably like not
Mm-hmm.
damaged at all.
No,
No damage.
afterwards, like a few hours later, I'm like, I can eat again. I'm hungry, and the next day I feel fine. So it's not like I'm full stuff. It gets burned so quickly by me. So
Yeah.
there's not much damage.
Yeah, I just wanted to pin it out just because some people have the tendency to looking up for the bigger guys and trying to do the same. And for example, if you weigh like 80 kilograms and you're gonna eat a meal like yours, it's probably like a 2 days of
Yeah,
your calories equivalent. So for you, it's like almost same calories as your regular meal, and for some guys, this is like a whole day of eating. This one meal
For real.
contains all the calories or even more.
Exactly, exactly. So that's why it's important to know your body, how much it needs. Because if I have a cheat meal and it's not enough, I'm actually going to feel more hungry than if I ate my normal meals, which is not really what I want if I'm in an off season. I want to obviously make sure that I'm getting enough calories to be growing.
Yeah, of course, man. What's are your future goals for the next couple of years in regards to competing? Are you want to be like I don't know, on the Olympia stage in the next 3 years, or maybe you win like a small pro show, or maybe get to the top five, like a realistic goals of yours, not something that you have to be shy of, or I don't know, like you're trying to play the Nick Walker game, like I'm gonna win Olympia in 1 year.
Yeah.
I am not disrespect the Nick. I love him and I believe in him. It was just an example, just because people have the tendency to go overboard both ways.
Of course, yeah. I think a realistic goal would be like the top five on a not too big pro show. Because it will be my first pro show, of course, and I'm quite young. So if I could place a top five on a pro debut, I'd be very happy. I think also I would like to do shows in the US. So I would like to try to do pro shows also in the US. Also in Europe, at least one would be nice, because it's in Europe. So I'm not sure if my first show is going to be in Europe or in the US. But I think a realistic goal would be like the top five for the first show, and hopefully winning a pro show eventually in the next years. I'm not sure how long it's going to take, but well, hopefully within the next 3 years, I would say.
Great. I think that's
eventually going to the Olympia would be amazing, of course. But
yeah, of course. This is not maybe this is must.
It is.
It's gonna happen. It's gonna happen, man.
I hope so. It's obviously everybody builders dream, right? When they're competing, they dream that one day they'll be able to compete there. But it's not easy. Everyone wants it, and there's a lot of great.
It's not supposed to be easy, man. It's not supposed to be.
No, that's true.
And that's why it's so magical, just because it's not easy, and especially right now that you cannot just collecting the points. You have to earn it. You have to earn it. You have to go there, win, and show that you're the best one, and you deserve it to go to the Olympia. And this is, I think it's for the best. I think that's better. That's better.
Yeah, I agree.
Man, okay? So I've asked you about the future of a couple of years, but what's your biggest goal in regards to sport? Like a biggest, and not lie to me, man. Just what's in your head?
I think, like we discussed, I think Olympia is the biggest goal. Just competing the Olympia would be my biggest goal, and a top 10 would be like obviously the most amazing achievement for me already.
Okay, and I'm gonna ask you just straight: do you believe that you can be a Mr. Olympia one day, or this is not even something that crossed your mind? I know it's a very big goal, and it's something that no one can tell you. Are you like a predisposition? Have the predisposition to be or not to be, just because you're 27 years old and you have like a 10 good years of solid gaining, and your body can morph. Like it can change totally. You can watch the Nick Walker and how his body changed. And you 5 years ago, you would say that he will never be on the Olympia stage. He was just a blocky guy, and right now his physique is beautiful, and your physique is beautiful right now. And you can screw it, or you can become a greatest bodybuilder no one knows, but what's in your mind?
That's true. I do agree with you that nothing is impossible, right? So anything can happen, and you can only wait and find out. You'll never be able to know now what your potential is in 5 years, 10 years. I to be honest, didn't see myself being a Mr. Olympia just um, in terms of genetics and potential. Let's put it that way. I do think I'm a good bodybuilder. I think I have good genetics and potential, but I'm also very humble. So I'm not one that's gonna say like, "Oh, I'm so good. I can definitely be Mr. Olympia." Right? I'm one that's gonna quicker look at my faults and my weaknesses than look at my strengths or how good I am. And in a way, it's also good because I'm always being critical of myself and trying to improve. Right? I'm never overconfident or thinking I'm the best. So I will be honest and say that I do doubt myself and think that, oh, I'm not good enough to be a Mr. Olympia one day, but I am still going to work towards it and try, even though I might not have convinced myself yet. Um, I do know that I'm gonna work as hard as possible and still try to make it happen.
I love this answer. I love this answer. I love this answer just because I know you're a humble guy and you're never said, I'm gonna win. But I know that in your heart you believe in it. And this is something that's probably just fueling you up, man, every single day. Even though you cannot say it out loud just because it sounds silly right now for you.
Yeah.
Like for
It
everyone. Like for
does.
me, say it out loud that I'm gonna be a pro one day, it sounds funny. It sounds silly,
I
but
think you
I
can be
believe I
close.
can. I believe I can. I believe I
Yeah, I think
can. But this is just a consistency, like you say, and doing everything
of
every
course.
single day. And I believe in you, man. I am not gonna say
Thanks.
that you're gonna be a Mr. Olympia because I don't know that,
Of
but I
course.
believe that you have a very great potential, and I love to see you winning multiple time, and I'm gonna wish you that.
Thanks, man. And I wish you the same. I hope I do think you can be pro for sure. And I hope you get it soon. Uh, let's just keep doing what we're doing now. I think we're on the right path, both of us. Uh, so I'm hoping to see you get the pro card soon.
Thank you, man. Thank you, man. I appreciate that. And I appreciate that you take a big chunk of your day just to speak with
Yeah,
me. So I'm very grateful that you come on my podcast. And if you have something to say to promote your sponsor or anyone, just to shout out to anyone you want, just do it right now, okay?
oh, for sure, man. First of all, thanks for also having me. Um, it was a pleasure to talk bodybuilding, discuss bodybuilding. It's something that we love to do, right? So I'm happy to be here. Um, yeah, I'm going to also say thanks to, of course, my sponsor. They've been really, really supporting me the last months. Really, anything I need, they're on top of it. So they're amazing, which is, oh, that's my sponsor, Alpha Subs, which is in Europe.
Yeah. Next time I'm gonna
Um,
use your code just because I don't know you have one.
yeah, you should use it, man. They have so much good stuff, right? Health supplements, cream of rice, everything. So that's great. Also, I am now being also working with Gas and Better Bodies, the shirt that you have on right now.
Yeah, I love
Um,
those guys. I
yeah, amazing, amazing.
yeah.
So I'm working with them now. I'm one of the athletes now also in the team. Um, Monday I get my first package of gas, so I'll be having new clothes and stuff to wear while training. So also shout out to Gas and Better Bodies, great people, very very friendly and just helpful, and they really really love bodybuilding and fitness. Just everything they're doing is from the heart. So yeah, shout out to them, of course. Um, and thanks to everyone that's watching, of course. If they're still watching, it's a long podcast. Of course, I hope they enjoyed it and they learned something. Um, And yeah, man, I wish you also all the best with the training and with the podcast, of course, for the next episodes.
Thank you, man, so much. And I believe that everyone's watching still, just because that was the great chat, man. Thank you so much.
Thanks.
And for everyone that are still watching, please subscribe, please share this. Please look up the every link I gonna find to the Lorenzo in the description box below. You can use his like a Instagram for coaching and stuff like that. You can reach out to him. And if you are living outside the Poland, especially, please share this with your friends. Those obviously who are interested in bodybuilding, just because if they are interested in makeup and stuff like that, they will probably not gonna love it. I will tell it straight.
Yeah,
But those who
for
are
sure.
bodybuilding driven are gonna love it for sure. So thank you once again, and see you again, guys, and see you, Lorenzo.
Later.